Oh, I'm fully aware I'm late to both of these movies, but I was out of town for a week, so it's not like I could really make it to them on time. But now that I'm back, I got a lot to catch up on. And I guess I'll review these movies in the order I saw them in. So let's first start off with The Meg. Meg 2 The Trench just sells you on how stupid but awesome it would be to see Jason Statham stop a giant-ass megalodon with his foot, and you get the stupidity you're expecting from a movie like this. A good hour and 10 minutes in. I'm sorry, I got a really good question. Hollywood, why is it so damn hard to make a movie with a crazy premise like this, for example, a movie about a giant megalodon, and just focus heavily on that? Look, going into this, I was fully aware of the bad buzz it was getting. I'm out of town for a week on vacation, how am I not going to hear about it? But still, I went in very open-minded because I just wanted to see some dumb shark action. And when it comes to the first Meg movie, I had a lot of fun with it. It's a turn-off-your-brain popcorn movie, and it knows it is. But by God, does the Meg 2 completely miss the point of what it's supposed to be. I hope you're ready to see all your favorite human characters from the first movie, cause they're back, and they take up a good majority of the movie. Yeah, you remember, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I don't think that was his name, that DJ guy, Rainn Wilson, oh wait, no wait, he died in the first movie, that's right. Little Asian girl, Pippin the dog makes a comeback. You remember him? He was the dog from the first movie. Where's the shark? Apparently this movie went to the Jurassic World Dominion School of How to sequel, because just like in that movie, it sells you on one thing that sounds awesome, but completely puts that in the background and barely acknowledges it until they need a climax of some sort. Okay, before I get too far ahead of myself, let me just explain to you what the movie's actually about. Jason Statham, he good guy. Underwater miner trench guys, they not good, they mean, you no like them. They are stuck in trench, underwater, very, very deep. There's sharks over there. And, they eat people like this. I'm explaining this movie like the intro to the Smurfs. Those the Smurfs, they good guy. Dat Gargamel, he bad. I'm pretty sure your 2-year-old can figure out the friggin' Smurfs. Look, I'll give it to a movie like Cocaine Bear. Sure, it does kind of the same thing that this movie did, where it focuses a little too much on the human characters than the titled creature. But at least in that movie, there was a decent enough reason for why the bear wasn't in it that much, and I personally enjoyed some of the human characters. In the Meg 2 though, I didn't care about any of these characters, I was bored when the sharks weren't involved in what was going on, and I even forgot for a bit that there was a giant shark in the movie. I also found the character of DJ to be really annoying. I tolerated him fine in the first movie, but kinda knew he was gonna be obnoxious here. You just gotta wonder if at one point Jason Statham stopped and was just like, I'm sorry guys, but you do realize that that guy is basically Roman from Fast and Furious. The one really positive thing I could say though is that when it is a Meg movie, it is a lot of fun, I really enjoyed myself, and I got some pretty good laughs at those parts. The movie's not even afraid to go full Sharknado at points. There was one part where Jason Statham kicks a guy into the mouth of a megalodon. And it's just as funny as you'd think it is.
See you later, chum.
There's also this one point where there's a megalodon in captivity at like this zoo or something, I don't remember what it was, and it escapes through the vents, but the way it's shot kind of looks like he asked his parents if he could go to a party and they told him no. But despite having fun in those parts, there's still a major issue with them. The climax of this movie involves Jason Statham having to throw poison darts at the Megs. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's 3 of these things. And a squid. And these weird little lizard things. But during those parts, it keeps cutting back to the other human characters trying to stop the bad guys.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
And you just know, there's a lot of unforgettable human characters like, Comic-Con guy. He liked Comic-Con. He died. Loser. I guess. Seriously, movie. He had one job. Jason Statham fighting giant sharks. Just do that for 2 hours and we'll be happy. I don't care about Comic-Con guy. Because he died. I knew nothing about him besides he liked Comic-Con. So my final thoughts are, when it's a Meg movie, it's a lot of fun and really entertaining. When it's not, it's a boring, forgettable snooze fest. I personally cannot recommend going out to a theater, paying $80 for tickets and popcorn to see this. But when it drops on Max, I recommend skipping to those scenes involving Jason Statham and the Meg because you'll have a pretty fun time. I went into this movie thinking I was going to end up giving 2 different grades, which would be my actual grade and my entertainment grade, but nope, just my actual grade, which is a C-. Oh, and one more thing, I must have been sitting in front of some diehard fans of the original Meg movie, because anytime some character would pop up on screen that was from the original, they'd be like, "Oh, let's go! It's DJ! I remember him! He was annoying!" But now onto a movie that deserves your fullest attention. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is the latest adaptation of the popular franchise, and this time is brought to us from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg in their family film debut. Yeah, gotta admit, it was pretty weird to see the Point Grey logo pop up in front of a kids movie. It was also weird to see an ad the other day for this movie that was saying, "From the people who brought you Superbad and Neighbors." Those are my favorite family movies. And in this movie, we follow the Turtle brothers as they work to earn the love of New York City while facing down the evil Superfly, voiced by Ice Cube. And I know I do this a lot, but growing up, TMNT was always a franchise that I liked fine. I was never a diehard fan of it. I watched the first 2 90s movies, the 2007 animated movie, the 2 Michael Bay produced ones, and even some of the 2012 series. Which, not gonna lie, has a banging intro. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here we go, it's the lingering ninja team. The good guys win and the bad guys lose. But when I saw the trailer for Mutant Mayhem, I immediately fell in love with the art style and never been more excited for anything TMNT oriented. And I've never loved anything TMNT this freaking much. This movie is so freaking good. I loved it. It's so good. Love it. It's best Ninja Turtles. Just a minute into the movie, I was eating up the entire look of this. It's of course heavily inspired by the animation of Spider-Verse, but looks nothing like it. This movie has its own look, style, and feel. One choice that they made that I just adored was that the animation is apparently supposed to look like as if it was drawn by a teen, with a bunch of scribbles everywhere and deformed looking characters, whether it be the mutants or the background humans. Yeah, despite the movie being about mutants, it is kind of funny how, besides April, everyone looks like a mutant in this movie. Even SpongeBob. I did really like how the designs of the characters took some major inspiration from the designs of the Rise of the TMNT characters, especially April O'Neil. Now I mentioned that I'm not a Ninja Turtles fanboy or anything, so I can't really say this is the best interpretation of these characters, but they're definitely my favorite version of them. Mostly because, as most have said, they put the teenage back in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They act like teens, they look like teens, and they definitely sound like teens, even to the point where one of their voices hasn't changed just yet. And I even found them to be the most likable version of the Turtles. The whole movie is about them wanting to be accepted by society, and you really do feel bad for them, especially more in this version, because they are just kids, and they want to be like any other kid. There's also a nice little bit about parenting with Master Splinter and how he just wants to protect the only family he's got because the world shunned him for being a mutant. I'm also surprised it took him this long to get Jackie Chan to play Master Splinter. He seemed perfect for it. Oh, by the way, here's the other reason he doesn't want him going out into the real world. The movie does have a great soundtrack, which of course is comprised of a lot of 90s hits, and rightfully so. And I've always appreciated any movie, whether it be good or bad, that plays a song from the trailer. And this is even one of the few movies in recent memory, right next to Spider-Verse, that fully deserves the PG rating. I don't know what the hell happened, but right when Superfly showed up, this movie got a potty mouth really fast.
6 in the morning, police at my door.
And there is one thing that happens to that character towards the end that might actually scare some younger kids. The only little criticism I have really has nothing to do with the actual movie itself. So as most of you probably know, to sell any movie basically, you gotta put in a bunch of big named actors to get people to go see your movie. But since the 4 young actors playing the Turtles aren't big names, they don't do that. And right when the movie was over, they do all the name drops in the end credits and completely skip over the 4 main actors and get right to the big named actors. I honestly think that was just kind of wrong and that they should have given more credit where credit is due, even if they're not big names. And can somebody explain to me why in the end credits they had it put down as, and introducing Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko? I mean, Paul Rudd's not a new actor or anything. Is it the character? Is he brand new? I've been seeing a lot of people saying that there might be a little too much comedy and it sometimes overrides the action, but it didn't bother me one bit. I mean, most of the other versions are taken seriously, so it makes sense that we have one that's more of a comedy. But at the same time, I'm like, how the hell can you take any of this seriously? It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I actually rewatched the first 90s movie the other day, and yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but it's so goddamn cheesy. How can you not die laughing at that one shot where they have a dead Raphael laying in a bathtub? But I thought Mutant Mayhem was so freaking good, and it gave me exactly what I wanted to see, unlike other movies. If you're a diehard Ninja Turtles fan, this is a must-watch. But for non-fans or anyone who doesn't know the source material that well, I still highly recommend this because it's really enjoyable, heartfelt, funny, and I really want to see more from this version of the Turtles. I'm gonna give TMNT Mutant Mayhem an A. Oh, and it was pretty funny how they acknowledged that Donnie just has a stick. He's like, what the hell? You have sais, you have nunchucks, you have katana, she's got your back. And one more thing, there's a scene where all of New York City starts chucking stuff at the villain, and I'm sorry, how can you immediately not think of this?
Got something for your ass! You mess with Spidey, you mess with New York!
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us!
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn the notification bell, and I'll be back later with my review of Miraculous the movie. See you then.